When it comes to innovation, some people may not think of technology company Panasonic. After all, Panasonic is known for making bog standard, pretty unexciting VCRs, tape recorders, and other household electronics. Now there was a time, however, that Panasonic led the pack with some pretty cool and definitely hip portable stereo products. Let's take a look at one of them, the Toot-A-Loop radio. Stay tuned. From 1969 through to around 1972, Panasonic, also known as National Panasonic outside the US, produced this iconic radio, the Toot-A-Loop. First designed and retailed as an AM-only portable, they did produce an FM version later in the product lifecycle, but those are really hard to come by. Now to me, there is nothing that just screams that time period like the Toot-A-Loop does. In fact, most of Panasonic's models at that time were purely late 60s and early 70s in style. Who remembers the TNT 8-track player? Now it's become an icon of the 1970s. Or what about the ball and chain radio? To have all three of these in a collection is a pop culture fantasy. Now let's get back to the Toot-A-Loop though. It was a portable radio designed to be worn around your wrist. It twists open to reveal the tuning knob. When it's closed, you can't accidentally change the station. Pretty clever. Now the volume is on the top, easy to get to, and the speaker fires from the side, so you can hear all of that tinny AM goodness. Now interestingly enough, it resembles an O when it's closed and an S when it's open, which is exactly what the jingle focuses on. With it's an S, it's an O, it's a crazy radio. In Australia, it was called the Sing-A-Ring. I guess they didn't like Toot-A-Loop. Wonder why. Now this one was a fortunate find. However, it wasn't in working condition. Fortunately, it was an easy fix. Let's take a look inside and get this one working. Now if you want to skip the repair section, there's a table of contents with timestamps down in the video description. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get into this, and the battery is going to be located on the same side as the speaker here. And there's a small area for us to get in there with a screwdriver and get this pried apart, so we'll go ahead and do that. Take a look on the inside. This should pop off. Get in there a little bit more, get that pried apart. There we go. So there is the inside of our unit. There's our battery connector there. And it looks like the speaker connection has been ripped off of the speaker. Yeah, that's been pulled off pretty good. It looks like there's been many bad attempts to repair this in the past. So it looks like the first thing we need to do is probably get those wires off of there. So we'll see if we can just eat that up and get that wire off of there. There we go. Get that out of the way. All right, so that gets, those are both of our speaker connections. And next we'll need to get that speaker out of there, because I don't think there's any way really to fix that, because the wires that go to the cone and everything are just destroyed. So we'll go ahead and pop the speaker out. There we go. That's easy enough. And that speaker should lift right out of there. It's just an old cone speaker, nothing spectacular. I was able to source what I think will be a decent replacement for it. We'll have to solder those wires on it, but I think that should work just fine. Otherwise, it doesn't look too bad in here. Let's go ahead and the wires off of this connector here. This thing has been really messed with over the years. There's so much solder on this. There we go. So over here, we'll get that stuff out of the way. Yeah, that has seen better days, but the rest of this looks okay. That's a mono earpiece connection on there as well. So we've got our two connections for the speaker. All right, let's go ahead and get those cut off, and there we go. Get that extra insulation off of there. There we go. Some fresh wire there. All right, good deal. That looks pretty decent. See if we can tin up these leads. It's hard to do this on camera and be able to reach everything. There we go. Especially when you're a lefty. There we go. Tin that up. Tin that up. There we go. There we go. Everything's nice and tight. So we should be able to get that speaker put back in here and pull those wires back through. There we go. Got our speaker placed. Make sure those leads aren't in the way of that clamp that holds that speaker down. Give us enough to get that back in there. There we go. All right. There we go. Get that clamp in there for the speaker. Make sure that's tight, and it is. Let's set the board back down in there for that. And where's our battery? Brand new 9-volt battery. We'll see if this thing works now. All right, I think since the rotary controls on this are a little bit scratchy, it probably would be a good idea to go ahead and hit everything we can with some contact cleaner. I don't know if we're going to be able to get into the back of that tuner knob, but we can at least get the there we go. That's a little bit better. It actually works. There's not very many AM radio stations around here anymore.
Well, after you grow up, and I promised them that. Ask your doctor about how comprehensive biomarkers.
Good deal. All right, so there's that part of it. Get that drop back into place where it belongs. And then this sits down in here. There we go. That is straight. Yep. So we'll pop that back on. Well, there we go.
Not getting anything.
Totally working now. Overall, I really think these are cool. When I hold this in my hands, it's like stepping back in time. I thought about converting this one to Bluetooth so it'd be more relevant in today's world, but I don't want to modify it. I really want to keep it original. What do you guys all think of the Toot-A-Loop? Is it cool? Do you think it's an icon? Do you think it's silly? I know many of you will have memories of these as a child or as a teenager. Be sure to share those memories in the comments below. As always, it was great spending time with you all today, and I'll be keeping an eye in the comments and responding as I can. Until next time, happy listening.